gotta get it how I live. Got me shawty trying to live life. I can't follow my dog and I ain't got much to get. But baby fighting for tonight.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Charvon.
It's Sappy.
Hey, Ty here. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about scams in America. Now, I know y'all might be asking yourselves which ones.
All of them.
Like, it's not a whole bunch of scams out there. But we're going to be focusing on college scams, professional scams, and some voting/political scams. Some people may not have experienced these things firsthand, but I mean, I'm sure y'all done heard some of y'all family and friends complaining. So to start things off, when it's time to go to college, what is the number one concern or question that people ask about?
That's money. Where we gonna get that money
College be
from?
quick to take their money too, so honey.
Man, colleges and student loans are like Bonnie and Clyde. They like Ben and Jerry's because them niggas they get along together great. Like colleges is like, hey yo, we gonna charge this. And student loans was like, we got you, but we gonna charge interest on what you charge, and we both gonna make this money.
Yo, you know what that reminds me of? That video of that lady on Twitter when she was crying because she took out a loan for $80,000. She paid $120,000 and she still owed $50,000.
Wow.
Talk about a scam. I don't want to get money like that.
Honestly, I wanted
don't know.
to cry for her because I'm like, inside, damn, that's me too. Like, I owe so much in student loans.
I need Sally Mae, Miss Mary Mack, all them niggas to hit me up because I need that money the way they getting it. Cause like,
honestly, I'm trying to figure out how you get into the student loan business because I know that it's very lucrative.
I think it's they probably start off as Forex traders. You know. The schemes is crazy.
No, but it's really just crazy to me because what they'll do is they'll create these exponential interest rates on a loan.
Man. And they'll educate you on it.
Right.
But you know you need the money to go to
But
school.
look, they swear they educating on you because you got to take a quote-unquote entrance exam
counseling.
or counseling
Bruh, I was
for
just like,
it.
let me hurry up and get this shit over with. They keep
And that's what every 18-year-old is thinking. That's what every kid is thinking who's about to go to college. They're not thinking about that. They've been on social media their whole life.
Exactly.
They press a button, watch a little clip, and dip. Like, all you gotta do is type in some answers. How much is this after this? It's this much. Cool. I'm out. Like,
exactly. Like, that entrance counseling doesn't do anything. Like, the reality is you got to really sit down, read, comprehend, take notes. Like, that should be an entire class. If anything, that should be a freshman class. Like,
I think that should have been a high school class.
I was about to say a high school class before you even go to college. It's crazy.
It could be a high school class before you go to college, but high schools are scams too, and they're not trying to prepare you for the real world.
To a certain extent.
Technically, they're not supposed to prepare you for the real world. Your parents are supposed to prepare you for the real world. Unfortunately, there's like a break in time where parents are just like, well, the school is going to do it. And then the schools are like, well, the parents are going to do it. And then it's just like, no one talks about anything.
Well, back in my mom's day, there was no cap on student loans. No cap, no cap. So
you could take out as much as you want.
Yes,
Wow.
but that was before the market crash. So she's like, X amount, $200,000 in student loan debt. I can't even get that.
Your mom?
Yeah, well, I don't know how much it is now, but when I was growing up, that's how much it was. Mm-hmm. But I can't even get that much.
It's probably like $300,000
you can't even take
now.
out that much, probably. With the interest rates, you never know. Maybe
That's
she need
wild.
a sugar daddy.
Not a sugar daddy. That's a scam too.
Oh, it's all scam.
Is it a scam if you getting the money though?
Anyway, I just feel like college is a scam in different ways because
it is.
Yes, you have your financial ways that it could be a scam, but if you think about other general education classes that we have to take that we already took in high school that is just taken again, or that we could take at a community college.
Pre-algebra.
Man.
I took algebra in the 9th grade.
I took algebra, pre-algebra, like, what's the reason?
I feel like they're teaching you the exact same thing just to get more money out of you. For
Absolutely. They want to make sure they keep you there for 4 years.
Because honestly, if I came to college knowing I wanted to be a nursing major or whatever, and I come in taking my nursing classes, I can get out in 2 years and be in my field.
Honestly.
But college is going to be like, no, you need to take these courses to educate you, your general education course.
I already know basic math. Come on, like, why are y'all making me take it again?
Absolutely. People don't know math though. I be struggling. I be seeing them try to do PEMDAS on Facebook, and I'm like, honey.
And I get that they're trying to have everybody be on the same level, but if I'm a transfer student and I come from another school that I took my other general education
they don't
classes,
accept it.
how do you know even that I'm on the same level? I might be advanced. I might be more advanced. They do accept it if it comes from like a community college within the state. And
Speaking
stuff like
from
that.
experience, I can say that when I went in, Hampton accepted my music classes. However, they didn't, which is crazy to me. They accepted my music classes that I took already as far as like basic theory, but they didn't accept the basic math that I had already taken. They didn't accept my biology class that I had already taken.
So
like biology with lab, yeah. But no, and what's crazy is, if I'm not mistaken, they took the lab portion but not the bio portion, which I was like, how does that make sense?
They usually do that though for STEM.
That's so
like,
stupid.
programs, like any science, math, anything like that, they're gonna do that for.
I couldn't do
It's just weird to me because if you would have went in state in Virginia and you would have went to community college, still took all those courses, they would have transferred over easily. And so they do it based on your location. Mm-hmm. So because you came from Maryland,
not Merlin.
they do it based on your location. They don't trust the community college you went to, so to speak. But
man, that's
I know, because I know Virginia has that pathway program thing.
A lot of states have that though.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know.
Like Maryland has it for Maryland schools. So if he went from his community college to, let's say he went to Bowie, it would accept all that general education. But if he went to Virginia Community College and went to Bowie, they're not accepting. Yeah. And that's a scam in itself.
Yeah, it's a learning process though. So when I have kids, I already know what's up.
Yeah, now, but like my parents didn't warn me. I'm already in the situation. Like, well,
I feel like for me it was different because my parents didn't go to school in America, so we didn't have that. I think like my guidance counselor knew.
I'm sorry, hold on real quick. Sabi, where are you from?
Don't do that.
Africa.
She's not from Africa.
Africa is a continent. There are several countries within
Okay,
Africa.
you still from Africa, goddammit.
Okay, and I'm from Sierra Leone, West Africa. Know us. Anyways, moving along. My parents both went to school, both went to college in Sierra Leone, and my guidance counselor knew that both my parents were college educated. However, she didn't know that they weren't educated in America, and their school system is way different than what it is, back home. So they don't have to do FAFSA. Like, that's not a thing.
January 1. Fill out that FAFSA. Like, gotta do it so you can get that money.
Now you do it October 10th or October.
Why so early?
They do because people will be like, man, how am I supposed to know all this stuff? You could do it before you even do your taxes. Yeah. But that's things that people would not know if your parents didn't keep updated on that stuff. So your parent hasn't dealt with this for, let's say they waited and had kids like normal people do. Not my parents, but normal people. Let's say, they graduated 21 and then they wait 10 years to have kids. That's already 28 years because you're already 18 plus the 10 years they waited. That's already 28 years since the last time they did anything to do with student loans. They don't know what's going on.
That's true.
So they might have your best interest at heart, but they don't know how to, maximize on that, how to make it for you.
So even for us, like when we get older and we have kids, probably by the time our kids are 18,
it's gonna be something totally different. Like they're gonna have
a
retina scan. They're gonna be like, "You owe me money," with a retina scan and a Men in Black. I don't know what's happening. Like,
I was hoping Michelle Obama was gonna come through with the free college, man. Like, hopefully that.
Honestly, I feel like this election has to. They have to.
It has to kick in at some point. Like,
it's not just this election, but it's just so much going on around education in the world currently. Like, if you think about it, it's so many debates, and now especially because a lot of HBCUs are getting funding and they're getting a lot of money for their schools, and PWIs are like, well, are they getting a good education, or is the education subpar at an HBCU?
First of all, that whole conversation
versus a
of
PWI?
whether an HBCU is educating you as good as a PWI is BS. I feel like my education is just as good as anybody else.
It's
who went to a
really
PWI.
BS.
I think it depends on whatever department you're in. Let's be real.
No,
about
that
Okay.
is true. However,
That's
I'm talking
true.
about the general
But I think that's
university.
across the
But I don't
board
think
as
you
a
can
college.
speak on the general university because universities are divided
different, yeah.
into different majors. So based on my major in college, did my specific school of music prepare me for the real world as well as I feel like a PWI did? Absolutely not.
Wow.
Hell no.
But that's crazy because, okay, you don't compare other PWIs to other PWIs unless it's like in football and, you know, basketball, things like that. But when you compare education, you're not like, well, I think VCU is better than
Well, no, people do that
Richmond.
all the time.
Yeah, people
It was
do
like
definitely
Ivy
do that all the
Leagues
time.
versus regular colleges.
Yes, Ivy League versus regular colleges. But if you put all those regular colleges on a platform, and let's say you're going for a job, and I put that I went to VSU. If you're not from Virginia, you're not going to know that Virginia State University is a HBCU.
That's true.
Because
But who
all
are
you
you talking about? The
see is
people who
Virginia
seeing
State
their-
University.
You talking about the people who seeing their
The
degrees?
people,
or
yeah, why else do we get degrees?
But
for
I'm
other
not.
people?
I'm not speaking for what they see. I'm speaking as an individual who actually went, and I'm just speaking for myself as like I don't think my college prepared me, as well as a predominantly white school would have prepared me when it comes to going out into the real world for my job.
And for your job specifically.
Yeah, for music specifically.
See, because I feel like I've been prepared very well with all the runaround and all the bullshit I had to deal with at Hampton.
But I feel like in that
never-
conversation, is it because it is a PWI or is it because it is a HBCU? I feel like you separating it, them teaching you had nothing to do with it being an HBCU. I just think it's just the teachers that they had at that HBCU. You get what I'm saying?
Well, hold on, and
Yeah,
you are
that's-
absolutely right. And I can speak on this because I was a transfer student. I went to Prince George's Community College. Now, it's a community college, and I can't really say it's a PWI. But I would like to say it was actually a well-diverse school. I saw white people, Asian people, black people, Latinas, whatever the case may be. However, my music instructors were all white. They were all white. It was 2 women, 3 men, all white. And I promise you, I learned more in 1 year.
Wow.
I feel like I learned
So you say
more
the
in
whites
one.
is better than the blacks?
No, probably just more developed though.
But no.
If you think about it, if you go to your parents and you're like, yeah, I want to do music as a black person, they're gonna be like, music what?
First of all, I tried to do that and that was shut
Music
down
what?
so quickly.
Exactly. See?
But hold on real quick. But it's not to say that, you know, all blacks are better than whites. But the reality is, I mean, they so happen to be white. And then when I went to my college, majority of the professors were black, you know, minus 2 or 3. But if I'm being real, just the way the white teachers taught me, like their method going into it was a lot different, but also better. Some of these black teachers that I dealt with, some of them are very knowledgeable as far as music is concerned and can
That's true.
do what it is that we're talking about,
It's
but
just
they
the
aren't
teaching.
necessarily the best
Teachers.
teachers.
Yeah.
You know, there are other methods and you know, ways that you get students to learn that they wouldn't really try to switch up or oh, you don't understand it this way. All right, well let me try it this way. You know, and
But
people.
I don't know. I feel like that's not a PWI versus an HBCU thing. I just think it's that
Yeah.
teacher versus this teacher. Because I feel like if you went to Juilliard and they have a black music teacher, that black music teacher is probably going to be one of the best teachers ever.
And
Like-
it's also about the tools you're given. Like,
Yeah.
if you start off at a school that already, you know, is talking about music, is advancing you in music, and you're able to go somewhere with that, that's cool. But if you start off at a public school and you use music as an escape, not everybody's going to want to escape the same way. So it's going to be hard for you to relate to somebody who
Else,
didn't
yeah.
come from where you came from, or trying to explain or teach what you know based off of what you've listened to and what you've collected, because only you know how to teach you. That doesn't necessarily mean you know how to teach other people.
Yeah. But I feel like maybe that is a HBCU evaluation of teachers, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
And also, people be be lying. Like,
On
they be
their
lying
resume?
Oh, you
on
talking
their
about for the-
resume.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, they be lying about what they're qualified for anyway. Like, and not many people check back on behind that, which is really a scam in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't check back and be like, oh yeah, you really didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do
I
this.
mean, it's weird because Hampton, I know specifically Hampton does those teacher evaluations, and I be frying the hell out of my
Man,
teachers.
They don't care about them.
Or my professors, excuse me. I be frying the hell out of my professors, and they be coming back the next year, and I'm like, houseway.
And nothing changed.
Nothing.
They
changed.
didn't
What
make
was
no
that- what was that
adjustments to their
dude
teaching
at
style.
Hampton?
Oh, we're not gonna call out no names.
Oh yeah,
We're
but
not
you
gonna
know
call
who
out
I'm
names.
talking about. He was getting recorded. The news stations was around. He had to go. Like, it was a whole situation. But everybody had talked about this teacher and said he was the worst teacher. And then here he come and scamming us. and
The scam continues.
The scam continues.
So, based off of the scam of college, do you think college prepares you for the real world?
It prepares you for the real world to a certain extent. Absolutely.
Do you think it's necessary for to be in college, to be in the real world?
College is all about networking, and I wouldn't have came out of my shell unless I had went to college.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be able to network and get to know people, and be able to promote your products or promote Tyrone's page to people who I feel like could promote it more if I hadn't gone to college, because I was shy as hell before I went to college. And it might also be alcohol. So maybe you just turn to alcoholism, start drinking alcohol and you'll be able to network.
So you think that situation in college teaching you how to drink alcohol is what made you out of your shell?
I really hate to say it, but I was like so into myself, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, nobody likes me, I don't know, people stare at me, blah 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 blah. And then I started drinking, and maybe not like every week, but like Thirsty Thursdays, I was drinking.
Deonica came out.
And then I was like, you know what, I'm never gonna see these people again. I might as well make an impression, because what can I lose? Like, and then when I had that mindset, everything from there, I just continued that. Like, even if it's a bad impression, you still remember me. And that might get me somewhere someday.
True.
That's your networking.
But she right. She is right, and I can honestly say the same thing. I felt like I was always an outgoing person for the most part and very likable. But when I went to Hampton, it was kind of weird for me because I was starting 2 years after the typical college student as a freshman. And so getting there, I didn't really know anybody. Mm-hmm. And then, just from where I'm from, it's just like, man, if I don't know you, I don't have nothing to say to you. Mm-hmm. But it's like, yo, you're in a whole completely different setting, environment, culture. It's like, you got to get past that. And eventually, like around my sophomore year, I did. And so the networking, like Charvon said, just became a little bit easier and better. And now, years later, out of college and grad school, it's just like, man, it's crazy because I see people I haven't seen in such a long time, or even people from college, and you see people doing their thing, and it's like, hey, let's connect, let's do this, let's find ways to do this. Oh, I know this person that can do it. So you really start to like use people to your benefit, and then you not just for your benefit, but then you allow people to use you to help out others as well, because you want the same thing in return.
I will say, without college, I would not have that mindset, though. Like, so when you say, did college help you? Definitely, because I wouldn't have been able to do that. And I lived in small towns. I've lived in places where people are just like, I'm going to just stay here. Mm-hmm. I'm good with this. And that mentality, like, when they go places or they go other places, they don't have that mentality after they gotten the education or experience that they require to do it.
Speaking of experience, let's talk about these professional scams.
Not the 419.
But really.
Because the one thing I hate is once you graduate, you try.
If you graduate.
If you graduate.
Because that financial scam.
Right.
Or maybe you took an extra year or two.
Or Tyrone from Howard stole all your money.
Man.
But like, so if you graduate and the first thing we try to do is get a job. Mm-hmm. But then the first thing they'll tell you is, we can't hire you because you don't have enough experience.
What was all the 4 years I just put in at the factory for? What was that?
So it's like, why am I working so hard for 4 years to get a degree just for you to tell me I don't have experience, and now I'm ducking, trying to talk to people, use my connections, to get in somewhere and get a job so I can get experience so that if I do need to get another job, they're not telling me, oh, you don't have enough experience.
Right.
However, it'd be that BS when it say you need 5 years experience, you need a master's degree, and then your salary is $15 an hour.
Where did I have the time? Like, where did I have the time to get a degree?
How you gonna have 5 years experience and you did 2 years of an internship in college? Like, how?
Right.
Where were you supposed to start these experiences in elementary
How
school?
you gonna have 10 years experience and be 20 years old? That's my question. Like, this is for an internship. This is a free position, and you asking for all this? What is y'all doing? Like,
I don't understand that. And I don't, who is the person in HR who sits and creates this and say, this is exactly what we're looking for?
I don't know, but they used to credit card swipe because they scammers for real. Like, I don't know, them HR people, they be scamming too. It's so many ways to get scammed while trying to get into a job. I actually, even on Indeed, some of those are scams. Like, you go and apply to a job, and then they'll send you something.
I definitely applied to a job that I was like, wait, this don't
yeah,
because you will apply and then somebody will send you some an email talking about, I need you to
apply to this link.
Yeah, to do it on this link, or I'm gonna send you a check and you need to endorse this check. And I'm like,
no, I'm
trying to get you.
I'm like,
And then the biggest scam of all to me is jobs or careers asking you to stay loyal to them and not switch up, when a better opportunity presents itself.
Honestly, I'm out. If I see a better opportunity and I've been at this company for a year, I am out.
And that's what I'm saying, because
I feel like that's a millennial thought, though.
Yeah, but where are you for our parents? That's what we saw. Where were you when the housing market crashed for our parents? Where were you as a job for, the people before us?
Nowhere to be found.
Exactly. So why am I be loyal to y'all? Like, money over everything, right? Like,
and I just feel like, let's say if you working so hard, busting your butt for this company, and something happened to you, that company gonna be like, oh damn, she down and out. Let's go grab somebody else. Like, they not even gonna be like, oh, she's been with us for so long. We're gonna make sure we take.
Now that's not to say that's not to say,
but that's gonna be your coworkers, not even your job.
But it's not to say that there aren't some companies that actually do that, because there are some, but it's very few. It's very few. You know what I mean? But it's like I don't get it, because it's like some of these companies have so much money, but
and then your bonus be $20,
right? But are tripping to dish some out for the people who's allowing their business to continue and grow.
And that is the scam of capitalism.
If everybody just say, "Yo, we not working for you," you're done.
Shout out to Jeff Bezos. We love you.
Your business is done.
Shout out to Amazon, because this podcast wouldn't happen without Amazon.
Right. But yeah, honestly, that really capitalism is a scam in itself.
That is the number one scam of the world.
And every
makes the world go round.
Just branches off of that. Every scam branches off of capitalism. Because if you think about it, we're saying that we put we value $1 more than a life. That's craziness. That's the most, I don't know. I be in some messed up situations, but that's the most messed up thing I could think of.
$1 more than a life.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
You see those commercials and be like, donate $1 a day.
It makes no sense.
I'm weak.
But
okay.
Anywho. But you see those commercials donate $1 a day to help, this
somebody 50 cents a day could feed somebody.
But people starving down the street in America because of capitalism. That's a scam to me. Not only are you profiting off of the negative, but you're also profiting off of the positive. And when I say that, I mean you're profiting off of your profit, people who are feeding into you, anything like that. Mm-hmm. But you're also profiting off of the people who you're exploiting to get those needs met, to make whatever you're making or to deliver whatever product you deliver. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, it's all a scam. It just depends on who's scamming who.
I feel like with that mindset, the United States having that mindset, if we were to change from a capitalist society to, let's say, a socialist society, how would that be any better?
Pyramid schemes would be out. That's all I'm going to say.
But I feel like because we've been in this type of society for so long, if we tried to change to anything else, we would completely fall apart.
We're so used to
Niggas
fucking
would
each
go
other over.
crazy.
Like,
literally.
We're so used to fucking each other.
We're so used to it, yeah.
We
like,
can't change it up.
Norm.
No, we need to fuck somebody over each day. Like, it doesn't matter how. Like, I don't know. People might think that they're not fucking somebody over some way, but think about it. If you're a cop and you go in, you have a quota to meet as a cop. Why? Because they need money to fund the roads for something. That's capitalism. This is how everything works. So somebody is going to end up fucking somebody over. It's the circle of capitalism.
Yeah, it just may not affect certain people directly, but it's like you don't even always
affects every single person.
No, absolutely. But I'm saying
situation.
certain forms of capitalism, it's like she said with the roads, it may not affect people that he may know, or that person directly, but it may indirectly affect somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes when it don't affect you, you good, you chilling.
But sometimes we're so intertwined that we don't realize it affects us. Like,
that is true.
Like, people just now realizing Black Lives Matter this year.
You know what it was? Because everybody had to sit and pause. And then they were like, dang, someone got killed. Dang, that black life actually did matter. And we've been sitting here we've been telling you this since we stepped foot on this land. And you just now surprised? Like, come on, it's 2020.
But it affects them because they're seeing it directly. If they weren't seeing it before, nothing's getting done about it.
Shout out to Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. I mean, they say that they, are with us, but it is what it is. That's another topic, though.
Another topic for another day.
That's crazy.
But I feel like with capitalism, that also goes into voting,
Like, if we just vote.
If you vote,
we could change something.
We could change, but
that's a scam.
Scam.
Because what they don't tell you is how many chains of command you got to go through just to get certain things passed. In order to change the things that we truly want to change. And then we got to worry about the people that's in office who may be conservatives, who are white, who don't and won't allow these things to change. And then we talk about, the House of Representatives. Is it the House of Representatives who is...
It's supposed to represent us.
But you can stay in there until you die.
No, you're talking about the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court, you know what I'm saying?
And that's where they make the laws. Like, that's the craziest
thing. But it's
ever.
like, so you got a bunch of old heads that are white.
Not old heads.
You know what I'm saying? That are white who die out.
We got one black.
Wait a minute.
Listen to that statement.
Wait a minute.
No. Let me put this on pause real quick. We have one black. That's what Sappy just said.
But I was gonna finish it. I wasn't trying to say it was as a positive. We had, I don't know if is he? Clarence Thomas.
Oh Lord Jesus.
I can't say for sure.
He's one black male.
But that's
okay.
one. But we talking about old white people who are in these positions who either die out or retire out after decades. And
I think the biggest scam is that they try to tell us that this is the way it should be. But, like, in the beginning, I feel like George Washington definitely said he didn't want to choose political parties. And here we are.
He didn't have a political party.
But once he gave... but once he gave up, he was like, we shouldn't split. We shouldn't divide. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't divide ourselves because it's going to divide the nation.
But I feel like everyone has different thought processes, so there's always going to be a divide no matter what.
It's like a game of tug of war. Like, literally, one person gets in charge, one party gets in charge, and they do this. And then another party does this. And then it's like back and forth. We're never actually getting anything done. That's really the scam behind voting, because it's like, you say vote, you're going to do this. And don't get me wrong, y'all. Please vote. I'm going to vote. Please vote. But like the girl from Twitter said, I'd rather get shot in the leg than the heart. But I'm still getting shot regardless.
And also, it's like sometimes, yes, they have candidates that are, voting for this or running for this platform, and you have this candidate who's running for this platform, and neither of those platforms represent what you want.
Exactly.
So you're also in that rock in a hard place where it's like, none of this is going to benefit me, but I still got to choose.
Facts.
So I do understand sometimes where people are like, I don't even want to vote because this is not helping out my neighborhood. But then it's like, damn, you still got to vote because it is helping someone else's neighborhood.
And also, you got to think about how hard these people ride so that we can't vote. Like voter suppression
oh
is
my God.
crazy.
The fact that from history, how they started with voter suppression, like, you know, the grandfather clause, and there was one where they said you had to read sentences backwards. Like, you had to read a sentence backwards.
I can't even do that now.
I can't even do the alphabet backwards. I'll
Me either. I'll be like, okay.
You know, they made you count, like, guess how many jelly beans are in a jar. Like, they would do stuff so stupid. And even now, like, with
it's
you know,
crazy
the pandemic
right
going on, and they're saying people have
and
to
they're
stand
closing
in line.
more polling places with a pandemic, which means more
people
people
are gonna be in
in a
one spot.
concentrated area. Like voter suppression or no, like.
And I feel like if I'm someone who is sick and I'm standing in line and I've been in line for 2 hours and they're like, oh, it's gonna be another 6-hour wait. I'm like, no, I gotta go home. And then I'm like, if I'm gonna come back and it's gonna be the same situation, why do I want to vote if this is gonna take all of this energy out of me?
And you know what the craziest form of voter suppression is for me?
What?
Representation. No representation. Like DC, right up the street, DC, they don't get representation. They're not considered a state. So their voting, it just adds to the popular vote. But if they had like electoral college votes, which is a scam, it's also a scam. If they had electoral college votes, it would change everything around. DC and Puerto Rico. Like, if they got the representation.
Puerto Rico and Guam, do they even vote?
They vote. It just goes
vote,
to the top.
But it doesn't.
It's the same with DC, though.
Yeah.
Like, they don't get it. They don't get any representation. But they get taxed, though. So, also a scam.
Which is crazy.
I mean, taxation without representation.
Once again, capitalism rules its ugly head. Like, they just find ways to keep getting money.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because sometimes we tend to gravitate towards people based on their gender or race. And I know a lot of people, you know, might have voted for Obama just because he was black. But there was also a lot of people who didn't vote for Obama just because he was black. So I'm not going to feel bad about that.
But and I feel like that goes with education as well. Because if you have a candidate and you don't educate yourself on it, I'm telling, like, we don't say no names. We got specific candidates who have specific thought processes that people are just voting on. Lack of thought processes that people are just voting because they think like, oh, this person is like this or he feels this way, so I'm gonna vote for him. Not because he has different, you know, not ideals, but political platforms that he's running for. People don't even care about that. Some people don't even care about the political party. They're like, oh, he got a comb over, I'm gonna vote for him. Like, some people even do it as jokes. Like Kanye West. People are physically writing in this man's name. What is his political platform?
Man,
silence. Like no one knows. No one really knows.
To sing,
he don't even know.
He just want to sing. But if we be honest, the person who's there now didn't know either. He just wanted to run. He just wanted to be important. He just wanted to be a part of something. And once that happened, he didn't like that. Like, I really feel like he don't like being there, y'all. Like, he'd be like, let me reverse out of here. What's the worst thing I could do? And he does the worst thing every day. And then they just be like, oh, that's my dude, though. It's cool. Red hat. No. What? Like, I think the only reason that he got voted for so much is because the same reason people voted for Obama. They voted for Obama because he was black. People voted for Donald Trump
because he's the ultimate redneck.
Because he wasn't a woman.
But I don't even think
I'm gonna say that
he
wasn't a woman, and they were not. They was not.
Yeah.
They was not messing with Hillary. Like, if it was anybody else, Donald Trump would not.
Because they were talking about them emails, and I'm like, y'all, it's emails. Like,
right.
y'all making a big deal out of this.
Like, this man has done way worse than emails in the first, 10 days in office. Like, literally, in the last 10 days, he's done way worse than emails. So,
do you think it's lack of education? Like, do you think they should educate people more on their political platforms and what they're running for and all those things? Or political parties, they need more education on what political parties stand for?
Yes and no. And I say that because, well, we have the debates and things like that. So when these people are campaigning, in a sense, I think it's kind of the responsibility of the voters to watch the campaigns and listen to what it is that they're representing and what they stand for, or their stances in general when it comes to society in America. So I kind of really think it's on the person to kind of educate themselves, because it's, it happens every 4 years, as far as the presidential campaign is concerned. So, they start, getting money and everything like that, like maybe a year like a year and a half before the actual election.
They
So-
get money.
What'd you say?
Them super PACs. That's
Right, but it's like
damn. No.
so it's like somewhere in there you gotta educate yourself, you know. So I don't think it's necessarily their responsibility because they're putting it out there for people to know, but it's up to us as voters to figure it out and then create our votes based on that.
So as a voter, how do you think we should hold our political candidates responsible? Because a lot of people can say, oh, when I get into office, I'm going to cancel student loans.
Man.
And we've heard that so many times, you know, because I've forgiven my student loans. I'm just waiting on them to do it. I just,
At
they
this
haven't
point.
forgotten, you know what I'm saying?
Forgive and forget.
Forget. I'm just waiting on you to say
Miss
something.
Mary Mac, Sally Mae, whatever y'all want to call it. Y'all could keep it.
So how as a voter do we hold them accountable?
Man, that's the big question.
That's the
I can
question.
honestly say
I
straight
think-
up, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really
What
think
we gonna
we
do,
just
kick 'em out
have
of
to
office?
hold ourselves accountable. Like, because if we teach tolerance and we teach equality and actually stuff like that, the way we're talking about it, the reason why these things come up is because we're really the most educated when we were in high school. If you think about it right now, have you watched the presidential debate?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of both of them.
But in high school, you had to watch that for homework. You had to like go over the presidential debate, argue with people. Like U.S. government was a class. You were able to do that. You're really your most educated and most tolerant because you're surrounded by different people
But I feel
every
like
day.
they do that because for me, U.S. government was in 12th grade, and it was right before I was turning 18. So I feel like, yes, right before you turn 18, you're most knowledgeable on every single thing as far as like political parties and things like that. But I still feel like that still doesn't hold the candidate responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't educate you
but
on.
like, I don't think there's a way to hold a candidate responsible, especially when they're getting money. Sorry to refer back to capitalism, but they're getting money from these companies who really only have their agendas in mind, and they're gonna push their agenda. So if they're not pushing their agenda, they're not gonna get money. So forget your agenda because that only makes them a mere. What does a president make? $450,000 a year. That only makes them a $450,000 a year. But the company's agenda makes them $2 billion monthly. Like
Isn't that illegal?
yes,
But they
it's
still
so illegal. But there's so many ways to get around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many ways that it's being done daily to get around it because
Tax write-off.
man,
Paying $750 in taxes.
I'm saying,
Ain't no
I'm
way.
saying, I wish, and I'm poor. Like it doesn't even make sense. But it's really important for us to get out and vote and have our voices heard, regardless of what we think about the system or how it's broken. It's really up to us to be able to fix it.
I feel like our voting is what fixes it.
yeah,
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually.
If we do it right.
it's getting fixed like these roads out here and these potholes,
These potholes.
right? But I mean, we are the gravel, so we gotta come together and make some asphalt.
Deep.
You know,
Ooh, that was deep.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
I be on it sometimes.
So, with that being said, guys, we about to get ready to go ahead and get up out of here. Just remember that when you are at the polls, if you are there, by law, they are required to let you vote, no matter how long you have been waiting there. So, stay there, get your vote in. Siobhan, go ahead, close us out.
So today's advice is to prepare us for voting tomorrow. Just make sure you bring snacks, brace yourself for long lines, wear comfortable shoes and multi-weather apparel. But whatever you do, don't vote twice, because that will get you locked up. No Akon.